Have another beer, buddy.
Chatty chat chat chat. I think that they probably said that being shorter is advantageous.
Well, they need to teach me then. There you go. So we had to poke a little fun at him. Call you Ginger Swag.
Yeah. If you weren't bowlers, what would you have liked to have done instead? Anything else. Literally anything else.
That's a great answer.
The horse is so dead that it's on some kid's school project on a landfill already.
And there you have
it.
No. We'll talk about that.
Terrible idea.
What's happening?
What is up, everybody? Let me get everything all squared away here.
Excited for the night. We got a couple of guys coming on the show.
Yeah, this is actually going to work.
And we'll get ready to bring them on here with us.
Yeah, we've already, they're already here. Yeah. So we might as well just go on ahead and do the thing. And
let's party.
Yeah.
I like it.
Let's party.
What's up?
What's up, guys?
Yo.
All right, sweet. The technology works, so that's step one.
Yes.
So, all right. Well, thank you guys for joining us. First of all, it's a nice little treat before the holidays and the PBA season gets kicked off, and get some of your thoughts on some of the rule changes, scheduling, and some other things. We do have a couple of questions that were submitted too, so if we have time to get to those. But so where do we want to start here?
Well, I guess we can start off by, it goes for both of you here.
String pins?
Yeah. Well, we can ask that when we get to it.
Well, we can skip string pins.
Mike, I'm curious on both of your thoughts on the tour season schedule so far. Like, you guys excited about it? You know, you see some changes that were made that you guys are excited about or anything?
I personally like it. I think traveling wise is I like that we're bowling for just over a month straight, where we're not having too many breaks. We bowl the first major to start the year, and then we have a little bit of a break and bowl the second major, I believe. But then once we bowl the U.S. Open, we're bowling until the beginning of March. So I personally like that, and especially if you get a hot hand, then you could have a really good month.
Absolutely. What about you, Pax?
I kind of, I'm indifferent on it. I do like bowling a lot of weeks in a row. I also absolutely appreciate the ability to reset, hot hand or not. I do like the ability to go home and reset, even if I don't love the reset when the reset is like 3 or 4 weeks long, but I do like the reset when it's like, hey, we just bowled for 3 weeks in a row. Guess what? Now you get a week off, and then you're back out there for 3 or 4 more weeks. I think I would rather that than, hey, let's bowl for 3 months straight without a break.
Yeah, that makes sense. And you don't have to go anywhere the first week, right?
First week's at home, which is nice.
Yeah.
Pat gets to sleep in his own bed.
At least that's not too far of a drive for you, Zach.
I haven't really. When I left Canada, so that was January 4th of 2021. I just bought my new mattress, and I just got to sleep in it for the first time last week. So sleeping in my own bed just isn't me anymore. Like, I'm just hotel bed, couch, futon, wherever. I'm happy.
I get it. Well, you got anything for me next?
What do you think about some of the rules? So the couple of the big ones, of course, are the urethane rules, but the other one that people aren't seeming to realize is that big of a deal is the August 1st, 2022 cutoff for the equipment, because it seems like everybody out there has got a few bags worth of like old vintage balls that now they can't use anymore. Is that a big deal, or is it kind of like, it sucks, but everybody's on the same playing field now? So,
personally for me, I'm going to have to figure out what balls were made prior to that, because I just signed with a new company. So I'm not entirely sure
what balls were made prior to August 1st. So I'm going to have to do some homework and figure out what balls I've been sent in the last couple of months to see if they are older than the August 1st rule. But mainly, I never really threw a bunch of old stuff on tour when I was out there.
Right.
I was one of those guys that I just have new ball syndrome, and I just like throwing the new stuff.
Yeah.
The new ball carry.
Yeah. Those fresh covers.
Yeah.
And I think for the most part, you'll be good. I actually just had that call with our ball rep Dino. Literally yesterday, I called him and I was like, "Hey, I'm just curious. I want to make sure I'm about to order a bunch of new balls, not new balls, but I'm about to order a bunch of balls that I have liked that I'm going to re-drill in time for the tour season to come up, so I could, get some fresh covers. Maybe I've thrown all of these balls that I've loved. Maybe I've thrown them all probably 60 to 100 games at this point, so they're getting a little lazy down lane, and I just need that fresh surface." So I had that talk, and I was surprised. Some of the balls that I thought would be before that August 1st date, he was like, "Oh yeah, those aren't even close. Those are like 2 releases after that." Where I was like, "Oh, like what about this Brutal Collision? What about this like Cuda Solid?" He was like, "Oh no, those are all like balls that came out in 2023. So for me, I've never been one of those guys either that's thrown old balls. I've liked to stay up to date. One, because those are the balls you can get on the PBA truck. So if you have a shape you like and you're looking for something similar, I mean, all the balls on the truck, you drill so many balls throughout the year. I haven't drilled so many, but the urethane rule will be interesting. Hopefully they do something with the patterns to help it out. With urethane balls being harder, people have thrown urethane because that's made the patterns more playable. With all of the oil down lane, it seems to control the front part of the lane a little bit better, make a smooth shape in the mid lane, and the purple hammer actually continues, which is why it's been, the dominant ball of the last 2-3 years.
Yeah.
With that being said, I'll be interested to see if they start changing the way that they build the patterns to make it so you shouldn't have even thrown urethane in the first place.
Yeah. At least you'll still get to throw purples for the Open and the Masters, right?
Still be able to throw whatever ball you want for the Open and the Masters.
Yeah. Thank God, because I only had 6 months with my purple hammer, and I fell in love pretty quickly.
So does that mean you're a B7 guy now, Zach?
A what?
Does that mean you're a Brunswick guy now?
Yes, I officially signed today with Hammer.
Sweet.
So
Congrats.
I am a Brands of Brunswick feller, and I couldn't be happier. They
multi-million-dollar deal.
Yeah, it's that John Rahm live deal.
Yeah.
No, I'm pretty happy to sign with them. For the last 4 or 5 months, I really have a good idea of what these balls do, and I think it's opened my eyes to lane play as well. Like I actually have a better picture front to back of what the lane gives me and how they transition, and it took a little bit, like maybe a month and a half, just because I was overwhelmed with all the options. Like I never really had a lot of options prior, but now like there's a lot more options, and as long as you understand them and don't get confused, then I think it gives you the best opportunity out there.
Oh yeah, for sure. And now things really have broadened for you. You got 7 brands you can throw now instead of just the one that you were locked down to for the past few years or however long it's been.
Yeah, I honestly have never felt this confident in a while. Like I feel like I'm going to win this year, and it might happen more than once.
Well, hopefully you both win this year at least once. How about that?
Yeah.
Please.
I'd like to finally break through.
And I've actually got a question that direction, because a lot of people have heard a lot of the pros out there talk about, well, I just had to figure out, maybe Chris Prather most notably said, well, I had to figure out how to win on tour. And I think a lot of people think, okay, well, what does that mean? It's like, well, you just bowl better. It's like, well, that may not necessarily be it. It might be different for different people, but Packy, what would you say it was for you? And then Zach will say, what do you think it's going to be for you, or what are the things that you've been working on to get there?
Question.
I think it's been just an overall accumulation of knowledge. Like if you look at how I threw it when I started versus how I throw it now, like visibly to even like an amateur bowler, you'd notice some differences for sure, whether it's, you know, the consistency, the height of the arm swing, the spine tilt, like the ability to post shots. So physically you have to get better over time or you're just not going to last.
Mm-hmm.
And then mentally you got to figure out, okay, like what do I have to do well to bowl well? What do I have to do to bowl well more than just like once? Anybody can bowl well one tournament, but how do you bowl well week to week? Not to win, but how do you bowl well to give yourself enough chances to win? Because nobody just goes out there, wins once, and then like that's it. All of a sudden they're winning every week. It's like no, they've always been close. So and then they just started winning.
Right.
Or they win and then you might see them take a step back or, you know, have that off year. And then all of a sudden 2 years later, they've figured it out again on a more consistent basis. And that giving yourself enough opportunities, learning enough, whether it's like, okay, you're the most talented bowler, but you don't know how to mentally handle 60 games in a row and how to stay like those guys they just don't throw bad shots. I mean, it might be one, and their bad shots are different than maybe your bad shots, right? Their bad shots are a whole lot closer and their hand still does the exact same thing as opposed to your amateur bowler gets way around the side of it and misses a mile to the left. There's, oh yeah, I just missed a little in, but my hand did the same thing. So I 6-pinned instead of big forward. So stuff like that. I mean, it's just learning all of that. And for me, it was figuring it out mentally. You know, I'm tuning up the physical game and lane play strategy for a year or 2 years or 2.5 years and still doing it now, but really tuning it up for a 2-year stretch. And then the last 2 years, just trying to figure out like mentally, how do you attack the lanes? Not stand left, stand right, slow ball speed, fast ball speed, but like, how do you mentally stay focused to a different level where like your shots aren't good, they're amazing. For me, that's
I completely agree with
mindset like that.
I completely agree with you, Packy. Like just watching your videos from the time you started bowling tour to now, you can really see your progression and how each step you got better and better and better. And for anyone listening, I would recommend watching Packy's videos so you can really see the steps and from the time he started to there you go. There's a plug for you, buddy. But yeah, just watching the progressions that you've made to get to that next level.
I think that's part of the beauty of like making the videos. And I mean, Luke, even you can attest to this, making as many videos as you've made, like over the years you change. And for me, it's nice to like, yeah, you finally win and it's awesome. And I get to share with all of those people that are like, that I've been so close to, from the guys like Zach to the guys who the guys like Zach who I room with occasionally, to the guys like Mitch and Prather who I room with every day, to people like my girlfriend and my parents and all of those people who have like been really close to me. But I also have this community of people that have been watching me bowl for the last 4 years horribly, that have watched it slowly get better week to week or year to year, month to month. Like, oh, okay, like he didn't really know what he was doing, and then he won a regional, and now he's winning more of these like smaller tournaments that he goes to, and now he's bowling a little bit better on tour. And you get this group of people that have watched you not bowl well, and it's cool to kind of share that moment with them and, you know, be able to say like, hey, like you can stink and work as hard as you possibly can to actually make it pay off.
Yeah.
Yeah, God, I remember this one YouTube video way back in the day that
those buddies posted it, right?
Man.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. The radical videos.
Some douchebag had to leave a comment on that video just telling you how it was. And I'd just like to think that, you know, you saw that comment and went, you know what, you stupid YouTube guy, I'm going to prove you wrong. So you're welcome.
And,
Motivation.
I think it's always been, for me, it's funny because I've never been amazing. So I've never been like, it's never been the mindset of like, oh, I can't believe I didn't win, I should win. It was always like, okay, like, what do I got to get better at? Because I know there's always been, and luckily for me now, I'm at the point where there's not 3,000 guys on tour that are a mile ahead of me. And before then it was 3,000 guys in my junior league that were way better than me. And it's just been like okay, like, watch who's doing good. What do I got to do to kind of get closer to them or surpass them? What do they do that I can't? And all of that stuff. And I've kind of just never left that mindset of, okay, like, what are the guys who are the best? What are they doing? What do I need to get better at? And kind of always just having the, like, my mom calls it the growth mindset, or, that never stop learning mentality of, even when it goes well, like, there's something that you could have done a little better.
Right.
And when it goes bad, like, that's prime time for learning. I mean, even watching Zach, I mean, I know I've probably watched Zach a whole lot more, and you guys have watched Zach now that he lives in KC a ton. But over the years, like, see how much his ball rolls changed, see how much his game's changed as well. Like, I mean, you can't go out there on tour and stay, like, if you don't work on things, you're no longer on tour.
If my ball roll stayed the same, I would have maybe 1 or 2 good tournaments a year, like I have been for the past 4 years. And being able to actually bowl now literally every day and every weekend, it's been a big help, because when I would go back home, I would just go work. So, like, and I never practiced. So, like, every time I came back down, I mean, I'm playing catch up again. So it's like Packy said, I would always watch the good bowlers and do what they do, and I would, mentally try to program that into my head. So when I would come back down, I would not have as much rest. But, like, if you're not bowling, you're still going to have rest no matter what. And
then you bowl against these guys like me who have been bowling
every day,
7 days a week for a couple hours a day.
Yeah. So being able to start this process and living in Kansas City, and I mean, Oscu told me many moons ago, Zach, why are you not living down here? And I just said, I don't know. I always thought I had to have a job, or like, have a job and find a way to pay the bills. But now it's just like, this is my main focus, and it's helped a lot. Like, mentally, it's helped a lot.
All right, that leads into kind of a couple of the points. Leads into a couple of the questions that we got from some people to ask you guys, and one of the ones that kept popping up was, who is a bowler on tour that you were either starstruck to meet the first time, or who do you look up to, or who do you watch as maybe you see the lanes similar to the way that they do, or you learn the most from them, just kind of that type of direction?
Oh, that's an easy one for me. I was always starstruck, and him and I don't play the lanes ever the same, but it was always Norm Duke. He had that mentality of like, he was the best on the lanes. Like, when he threw the ball, he was the best. He didn't care who you were, how many titles you had, whatever. He got up there. He made the best shot of his ability. He's mentally always there every shot, and he's just a true grinder. And that's what I really appreciate about him is his ability to grind every tournament and find a way to either cash or make a show or win. Like, he was kind of an anomaly. Like, age never mattered for him. Like, he just kept on finding ways and getting better with everything. And it was awesome to watch. And I'll never forget bowling a pro-am. Like, I was one of the pros, and we were bowling on one of the patterns, and the pattern was super tough that week. And I'm watching Norm just make it look like a house shot, and here I am, looking like one of the amateurs. Yeah. And like, just being able to talk to him and just listen to what he has to say in ways that he can tell you to get better. he was just always one of those guys that I loved and admired.
Yeah, I'm surprised he called it quits. To be honest with you, I felt like the guy was never going to quit.
Well, at some point you gotta retire before you ruin your name or whatever.
Yeah, some people hang on a little bit too long, and I think it's probably he probably did it about as good as you can do it.
Yeah, his legacy's always gonna live forever. So,
Mm-hmm.
No doubt.
Yeah, Packy, what about you? Who is it for you?
It's changed over the years. Mine was always Anthony Pepe.
Okay.
Growing up, he was a local guy, and growing up, I was like, I want to throw it like him. Even though I'm two-handed, like he had if you had like the cookie cutter stamp of approval, like the perfect physical game, he would be the guy that would be like, wow, like there is not a single extra movement in his body. Mm-hmm. It is pretty much arm swings, leg, and that's it. And I mean, I always wanted to throw it like him. And then over the years, Parker Bone, another like more local guy that I would see more often than on TV. I'd see him. And when you guys mentioned that video on YouTube from Buddy's Pro Shop back in the day, those were actually Parker's balls.
Oh yeah.
Those had like massive thumbnails and huge finger holes. Like those were his bowling balls that he couldn't throw because they were Radical, not Brunswick. Back when they were like very strict on separating the brands and keeping like the Brunswick guys throwing the Brunswick balls, at least on video, not in tournaments, but on video.
Yeah.
Much less strict now, but yeah, he was the guy that I probably looked up to and said like, okay, I want to throw it. Parker almost had the same physical game as a Anthony Pepe, but just with a little more like flow to it.
Yeah.
And he was up in the area more often than Pepe was. Pepe kind of stayed in New York, and Parker, being a friend of Chris at Buddy's Pro Shop, was up there often enough, and getting to pick his brain or even just sit in the corner and listen while they're chatting about whatever. That was always cool to me, but I didn't really get a whole lot of PBA or like big name superstar help and advice until I was really like at Wichita, or even not even there really, just until I was out at the tour. But guys like Mitch have helped me. Mitch, Prather, Frankie, I mean, guys like that have helped me more than guys like Parker Bone, but it started with guys like Parker Bone and Anthony Pepe.
Mm-hmm.
The lefties, we just have a different, we have a different bond.
Yeah. Yeah.
I got to ask though, all the bowling you guys do, did your thumb ever hurt?
Yeah, it hurts so much. Look at it, it's so bruised up.
Super swollen.
Man,
you got that.
See the size difference? They're like the same.
Yeah, you don't have that Trevor Baumgartner thumb.
Oh, geez, that's a thumb.
That's the most unique because I drill his stuff, and I actually do a triangle. So I do an oval one direction, I go back this way, and then I come back up to make an oval because it's wider on the back, and then he's got like a knot on the back of his thumb too. So
there was one lefty growing up. I bowled a lot of the Rochester tours, just to get more experience.
Oh my God, was his name Corey Barber?
Yes.
Oh my God. That dude had an it slug in there.
Well, yeah, he couldn't even drill the interchangeable thumbs because his thumb was too big. It was insane how big his thumb was.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think when I was growing up, he had the like, it basically looked like he just used the bit that you would drill to use like the 1 3/8 bit, and you just make a small oval.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. That kid threw pretty good.
You know where he actually works at Texas Instruments now?
Really?
Yeah, I was down at a tournament in Texas, and he showed up, and I was like, Corey Barber, and he was like, yeah, what's up, Packy? I can't believe you remember me. And he was like, yeah, I'm just coaching a local high school team. I love it.
Damn, I didn't even know he was living in Texas.
Me neither. I haven't seen him in years.
Yeah, it was at least a decade, if not longer.
Absolutely. I would say at least.
Yeah.
That probably would be the biggest thumb I would ever see then.
It's ridiculous.
I mean, Trevor's, his slugs, These interchangeables, when I see them, I always feel like I have to grab them. They're going to fall over because they're leaning like halfway over like this.
Yeah.
Jesus.
All right. One of the other popular questions was about the mental game. I talked to Tish Johnson a couple years ago and asked her, I think I can't remember what the question was, but basically she said that she always had trouble with qualifying because she's like, I just get bored because it's just like, you know, somebody said that you've got to be successful, you've got to bowl league until it feels like practice, and then you have to bowl tournaments until they feel like league, and then you have to bowl the big stuff until it feels like just a regular sweeper. And she's like, yeah, you do it for so long, and eventually you just, you know, qualifying's kind of boring. It's like, I want to get to match play, I want to get to the TV show. So there was never any nerves for her once she got to the show. That was it. What is it? And you had mentioned earlier that's what made me remember about it is, as far as staying in like bowling 60 games or however many games and just keeping your head in every single shot. Is there something like that for you guys? Or what kind of tips or tricks do you have that direction?
For me, it's basically just trying to stick to a routine. I learned this a long time ago, and I'm sure Packy's heard it before, but one of my first bowling camps was with Brad Angelo, and Rick Benoit was there. So that was, I first got introduced to Bowl U at a very, very young age. And so I'm sure the acronym has changed over time, but Rick always said PACER, and each of those letters meant something. So the P would stand for preparation, the A would stand for acknowledgement, C would stand for commitment, E would be for evaluation, and then R would be for repeat. So it just allowed me to really create a routine, and then having a routine, it allows you to stay in the moment more, whether it's like if you're having a bad game, at least being in a routine, you're not panicking over the bad shot, you're just sticking to what you know, and it, like, that's just something Rick and Brad always insisted first before anything. That to me, I think it's just all about routine.
Yeah, I mean, it's like we always talked about I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've sit in a 2-hour meeting at a Wichita State, not at camp, but just like being on the team, or even the year that I spent on the developmental team. Like, I can't tell you how many meetings we sat down for 2 hours and chatted about the importance of a pre-shot routine, what it should look like, about like how long it should be, you know, what works for you, what doesn't work for you is not going to work for someone or not work for someone. You don't really know. But yeah, the routine is huge. For me, a part of it. I mean, like a 60-game tournament, it's just mental toughness. It is like, if you can stay focused to the elite level, and yeah, like, unfortunately, I think it's gotten way better over the years, and I'm not saying that Tish Johnson bowled when they were easy, but right now I think bowling is more talented than it's ever been. Mm-hmm. There's too many guys that throw it too good for you to view it like it doesn't matter. And she might be speaking a little differently on that, but like, oh, like, it's just it's just practice. Yeah, like, totally get that. If they're ridiculously easy, and if they're ridiculously easy, everybody's striking, so you still got to throw it amazing. I just think there's too much talent for you to, like, you know, take a mental break in the middle of a block.
Yeah,
like you can't watch Anthony Simonson throw one single shot out of any of those 60 games and be like, like, he was only half in on that one. No, like, he is all in on every shot, and I think that's the biggest thing for me, and when it comes to the mental aspect of it. And like, yeah, it's like the more larger tournaments you bowl, the less you know, nervous you get, or the less intense it feels. Like, yeah, the first time you bowl the US Open, it feels ridiculous. Like, it feels different. The first time you go to, like many people, I'm sure even in the comments can relate to, the first time you go to the USBC Open Championships and you're walking down the tunnel and they're playing the music and they're clapping, it feels like a tournament. Like, it doesn't feel like you're bowling league with your buddies, even though you're on a team with your buddies. It doesn't feel like that.
Yeah.
And I think but then year after year after year, you keep going and it doesn't feel like that anymore. It feels a lot more relaxed. So I think it's repetition of pre-shot routine, but more repetition of bowling bigger tournaments. Now, when I go and bowl a regional, it's any other tournament. It's not like, oh my God, this one matters a ton. Like, yes, it does. You want to win every tournament the same, but for me, it's like, and for me, I also take a little bit different mindset than a lot of guys. For me, I just try and go have fun, regardless, whether it's the U.S. Open or not. Like, if you're not going to have fun doing it, it's really hard for me to think like, oh yeah, like I see too many miserable guys out here bowling that don't look like they love doing it to like make me like, I want to have fun because it's fun to have fun. I bowl better when I have fun, and it's a whole lot easier for me to like go back home at the end of the day if it didn't go well and be like, all right, like you still had fun, you're still bowling, and you still get to call it your job. Like, how crazy is that? And I also think that comes from a point of not ever being amazing, just feeling really lucky that I do get to call bowling my job.
No, I've always appreciated your mindset in regards to that, like just having fun, and I've always idolized that, like with you, really putting the work in and just seeing that you know when to take it serious and you know when to have fun doing it, and I won't lie, I've kind of tried to use some of those tools, because you try to take some tools from other bowlers and try to hone them in like for yourself, in just a different way.
Yeah, no, I like Nick said down below. I mean, yeah, no, I'm legitimately having fun when I'm bowling. And yes, it's easier to have more fun when it goes well, and it's a little harder to have fun when it's going bad. But one of the things that I always like to keep just tucked away in the back of my mind is like, you're bowling, it's your job. And especially with all of the video cameras out there, and I film myself pretty much every block, and like, you can notice when you're a little down or stuff like that. I mean, it doesn't make you bowl better. And it's just, why would I not want to have fun and show somebody else that bowling can be fun even at the highest level? Like, if you go and look at the best basketball players, go and look at the best NBA players, like the best NBA, the best NFL, the best MLB players. Does it look like they're miserable?
No,
like none of them.
You're
like
you're like the Joel Damon and Max Homa of bowling.
I'll take it.
That's
As long as I get the Max Homa performance.
They just enjoy life and have fun with what they're doing.
Sure.
As long as you give me the Max Homa performance stats, I'll take it.
Well, you're pretty good with the comments too, like Max Homa.
Sometimes I try.
Isn't Max Homa the one that's like really active on Twitter? Well, I guess X now, that always posts funny stuff on Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't even know what it's called.
Yeah, we'll go with one of the two. But yeah, Max Homa's funny. It's a good comparison.
I'm still kind of new to Instagram, so
that's like the easiest one of all of them.
Yeah, I think I've had Instagram now for maybe 2 years.
Okay.
So like, I'm still new to social media, kind of.
All right. Did you have something else in there?
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say, Packy, we can let you go whenever you're
a couple more minutes. You're good.
Okay,
you're good. I'll let you know.
All right.
Did you have some more questions?
Yeah. Let me. I think there was another couple questions in here that were interesting.
We kind of went through that one already.
Yeah. Here's one about
Content.
Being on tour and creating content takes a lot of time. How do you maintain a good work-life balance, or is it something you're still working on? Because, I mean, you've pretty well taken over the house channel used to be like a lot of other people. Now it's kind of, it's your channel. And I know what kind of commitment it takes and how much time. I mean, people just don't understand how much. I mean, you got to think of the idea. You got to get the idea first, and then everything on down the line. It's just you're constantly thinking of an angle here, there, and the other, and then you've got the practice on top of that and whatever else. And so,
that's all you, Packy. I just watch you guys do it.
I think it was definitely. I mean, like the first year that I decided to vlog all the tournaments, I just thought it was, just that Brad and Kyle had always done their thing, but just give them a different perspective on kind of what goes on in other people's minds. And I edited pretty much all of the videos, and that was a lot of work. There was plenty of nights where I was like, you know what, I'm doing it, and it's 11:30 at night, and we bowl at 9 a.m., and I'm still chopping up this video. And now I'm lucky where I actually pay one of my really good friends to help me out. I get all the footage, I send it to him, and then he pretty much does the rest from there. And I'm lucky enough that he's willing to help. He's really good at it, and I just can kind of send it his way. So it's, okay, like find someone to help me film, maybe film a couple talking pieces when I'm done. But after about, an hour after the block is done, it's, it's all on my computer sending to him. So now it's easy, but definitely that first year, I mean, if you looked at it from the outside, you might call it unhealthy. I don't know. You might say I'm crazy, but I do love the game of it and the analytics aspect of it. How you can, much like bowling, you can always look at it and say, okay, yeah, like did really well here, but this is what I missed out on. What do we got to do next time?
I'm sure it's fun at times creating some of the stuff outside of the PBA content that you do, like some of the.
That's definitely way more fun. Yeah, like coming up with some weird ideas and like getting to shoot them with a couple of friends who also think the idea is weird. Like that's the one where they're like, how are we going to do this? And I'm like, we're just going to figure it out.
Yeah. And there's sometimes like, even if a video doesn't do so well, you're just like proud of it. And it just
you're like, wow, that was a good video. I tried something new. It went well. And maybe I just put the wrong title or the wrong thumbnail on that, but we'll get them next time.
Yeah.
My favorite has to be the Squid Game one. Squid Game was great.
Yeah, I was like, damn, that was a good video, a good type of video, and it just like didn't do well. I was like, all right. I was proud of that one because all the ideas were good. I thought we executed well. My buddy, and the same guy that helps me on tour he comes out and he films all of my videos now when we go. For the most part, I'd say it's probably like 90% of them. Every once in a while we can't meet up or he's got something else going on, and I'll just bring a bunch of different cameras with me to try and make up for the fact that no one's holding it.
You got to ask the Malcolm question.
Yeah. Oh, what's the hardest center in Kansas City? Maybe Olathe with the Henniger said that Olathe has sport compliant racks.
Yeah.
It depends who you ask. Like
Olathe is crazy. It can be so easy, and it can also be so hard.
Yeah.
I completely agree with that. The one center around Kansas City I despise is Lee Summit, the Summit Lanes.
Okay.
Like I've had good success there, but
with the sport compliant, no, it's not.
It just feels like a dungeon every time I walk in there.
It is really dark and low ceilings.
Yeah, it's dark and the low ceilings, but I think we appreciate HPLs on the left side for we get a little bit
extra bump out there.
We get the illusion of track friction that all the righties have, and they just don't understand. I always swore that when I switched hands, I wasn't going to be like this white knight running around talking about lefty this and lefty that, and then it sucks.
Here we are.
Especially when you've been a righty, it's hard to explain track friction. Like the lefties can see it, but they don't really experience it. And when you have it, and you don't quite understand it, and then you don't have it anymore, and it's like, well, gosh, I only missed that shot by 2 boards. Why did I miss the head pin? It's like, well,
I'd have to say it's Olathe East and Aaron's. Aaron's also sucks.
Oh, yeah, Aaron's got some pretty bad racks, but that might not be an issue when they go to string pin.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
We had-
Luke will love that.
Oh my god, yeah. I've just turned into a troll on the thing. It's just too funny messing with people anymore.
have you guys bowled on the USBC certified ones yet?
So I haven't. I get I don't get roasted in the comments because I'm pretty understanding, and I try and explain it well in the videos. But every time I post a video from the string pins, people are like, "We hate string pins," and I'm like, "Guys, these aren't even certified. Like these are the illegal ones. Like these also are much different than the actual like legal ones. The legal ones don't do this."
Yeah.
But for me, hardest center in Kansas City, it's not. I know it's not really Kansas City, but mine's going to be Lunar Bowl with the sport compliant approaches.
Yeah.
Oof. Yeah,
Those approaches
that's a
in
good
the
one.
summer, they're not even approaches.
Mhm.
They're just
They're all-
marking.
I found the trick to that bowling center is take off your actual sock, put it over your sliding foot, and you're good to go.
I think I need that.
Yeah, I did that subbing in a league there one night, and lo and behold, I could slide.
Probably
I
looking
needed
at
that trick last time I was there, blowing my knee out.
Yeah, oh yeah, they're probably looking at Zach like old boy's taking his sock off. And
Oh,
saying,
yeah,
what is
it
going on
looked-
here?
It looked absolutely ridiculous, but I mean, sometimes you got to think outside of the box, and it worked.
That's pretty funny actually.
Here's an interesting question in the comments. Guy says, I bowl several PBA regionals a year and multiple local tournaments. Why can't there be more side pots, eliminator brackets in the regionals? You guys can bowl side action at like the Masters and the US Open, but when you're at that level, does it get to the point where it's just like exchanging money back and forth? Is it, I mean, how does that generally look?
I personally, this is last year was the first full time I ever bowled regionals because they were just too far from Canada.
Mhm.
But my experience with the Midwest was they still had high game pots, and then some tournaments they did run brackets.
Mhm.
However, a lot of people's mindsets isn't all the side action. They're trying to win a PBA title, and so their mindset isn't really geared towards the side action or the high game. And so I don't think they ever did well. I'm not sure
if you were at a regional to make money, you might be one of the few guys there to make money. For the most part, yeah, like Zach said, it's just guys are bowling to try and get a banner and stare at their name next time they're bowling on lanes 17 and 18.
Yeah.
And no, I mean it's awesome to go to any PBA tournament if it's a PBA junior, a PBA regional, or a PBA national event, and like stare at your name hanging down from the rafters. You always look up there and you're like, man, I want my name up there.
Absolutely.
Hey, I'm still looking for a banner.
Yeah, it'll come. You bowl enough regionals, you'll get there. But for the Southwest, they still hold high game pots, and I think it's also a lot for the tournament director. Like if it's usually just them, maybe them and one other person, but it's usually just them running the whole thing. So it's hard for them to do brackets if there's only going to be 10 of them, and then also high game pot and run the tournament. And then you got some guy barking at you about, hey, there's no scores up and we're halfway through the next game. And he's like, yeah, well, I'm trying to get scores for brackets and for side pots, and I'm trying to run all these different things. And I think that is part of why there isn't it. But I think the majority is they would run more if there was more demand. But for the most part, like Zach said, I mean, guys are there to win the tournament more than they are to like go out and make another extra $150 in brackets. Whereas you go to like your amateur tournament, people are there to make money.
Yeah, tour KCs, you can get into almost 200 brackets.
It's a lot.
Yeah, and guys are there to either like make a couple bucks or have fun bowling with their friends. Whereas regionals, it's like most guys are just there to win the banner at the end and hold up a trophy.
Yeah.
I've always thought the bigger the trophy they give out, the less side action there is.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think that'll cover it for most of the. There were a handful of questions that are kind of like I don't know. It's kind of interesting that. How old were you when you threw your
I
first
got like
300,
one more.
800? Or yeah.
I got like a couple, maybe one or two more in me before I got to dip out here. But
Yeah.
just a fair warning.
What is your guilty pleasure ball or ball you wish you could throw? I know you have a different relationship with equipment because you got to treat them like tools. You can't like when you're bowling league, it's one thing to like, I want to throw this ball or I want to throw this ball. It kind of spices it up a little bit for the league bowler that just bowls in the same house on the same condition for like 9 months out of the year. You guys have to completely separate yourself from that. It's like my favorite ball is the ball that's striking, basically. But do you guys have any of those favorites that like strike more than others?
Purple Hammer.
Yeah, I think the Purple Hammer strikes the most across all patterns.
I'm not going to dispute that. Now that I've been able to finally throw one, I could, like, I made a post, I don't know, maybe a year ago. It was probably actually at the beginning of this year, and I was saying the Purple Hammer is by far the best ball ever made. Because if you think about it, a lot of companies started trying to recreate that. Yeah. And if you start trying to recreate something and you can't recreate that, you just know how special this ball is. And it just always did the right thing no matter what. So like whoever the chemist is behind it or the person behind making this bowling ball, they just deserve a lot of recognition because they hit the jackpot with it. And to me, it'll forever be the best ball ever made.
Who was it behind that one? Do you know, Packy?
I know there's a group of guys, and I think Brunswick actually hired one of them when they even made the acquisition across. I think one of the guys who started that whole, I think a couple of those guys even who started that whole process also came over to Brunswick to work with their R&D department because also now that they acquired an extra 4 brands, guess what? We need more people to develop bowling balls because we need to come out with more bowling balls.
Yeah.
And I'm not 100% sure exactly who it was behind, but I know there was a team of probably 4 or 5 guys from color to cover stock to core that all kind of, held hand in hand on that one and maybe even hit the jackpot by accident. Who really knows? Could be one of those things where people are like, oh, we wanted the urethane ball to hook a little less than this.
Yeah, you're right, Zach. I think the blue one, the new blue, that ball looks amazing.
I just drilled it yesterday, and of course, like I said earlier, I just have new ball syndrome, so I decided to throw it in league last night and had 730 with it. And it's just...
I think that ball's unbelievable. I mean,
especially for not urethane
to see what happens on patterns.
Yeah, I haven't thrown it on any patterns yet, so
I've thrown it on the
I'd like to...
It's been up and down. I've had times where I'm like, this is clearly the best ball I've ever thrown, but
it looks really damn good. Are either of you bowling the holiday doubles this weekend?
I will be going.
Sir.
You both are bowling?
Yeah.
Who's your partners?
I am bowling with Pharaoh Williams.
I should have known that.
Yes. Bowling with Cameron Doyle.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I bowled with him for probably the last 2 or 3 years. 3 years, 4 years maybe.
What are you guys on?
Saturday afternoon.
I think I'm on the same squad as Packy.
Nice.
Cool. Well, Packy, if you need to dip, go for it, my man.
I do. Thank you guys for having me. Appreciate all the some good questions. I hate the what's your favorite bowling ball right now and when did you? I mean, you guys asked some questions that were definitely a little bit differently. Also, to actually answer this question, ball that holds a little spot in here, Quantum Classic Black.
Okay.
I'll be out after that. Yeah, it was just like that was like the house shot ball forever. Bowled a bunch of tournaments with it. First got drafted to the league, went to the league, won the league throwing that ball. That was like the first ball that I had some success with that was a little more than just your local sweeper.
Yeah.
But thank you guys for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, buddy.
I'll catch you
guys. We'll see you on Saturday, Pack.
Yeah, I'll see you Saturday. Hopefully, I'll see you up at the top.
Sounds good, buddy.
See you, brother.
See you.
Zach, we've got you for about 9 more minutes or so.
Yeah, give or take. I got to start
Tasty stuff.
hands. Well, I got the steaks cooking, or well, not cooking. They're in the
Marinating?
fridge right now, marinating, and so then I just gotta sear them because we don't have a barbecue, because we're in an apartment. So
Yeah.
I sear them for a couple of minutes, let them rest, and then I put them in the oven for about 12 minutes with some butter on top, and it's like the perfect medium rare, man. It's so good.
Need to get you that indoor Blackstone electric griddle. That thing
Dude,
is
the
awesome.
Blackstones are pretty sweet, man. I definitely want one when I can get a house.
I've got a regular Blackstone, but I've also got the indoor electric griddle. It's awesome. Awesome.
Okay, you could probably cook some bomb ass breakfast with
You
that.
cook everything on it.
Yeah.
There was a question in here for you. Hey,
Yep.
Zach, just wondering if you're going to make it back for the Bud Bowl this year since you moved to the Midwest. Also, congrats on signing with Hammer and Royal Flush too. Want to add?
Oh yeah, so we'll get to Royal Flush in a second. But man, the Bud Bowl. Oh, what a tournament that is! If no one knows what this tournament is, it happens usually the second week of March. It runs all week.
Okay.
You can bowl as many squads as you want, and you can cash as many times as you want. So if you have multiple cashes, you basically get your money back, which is perfect. You bowl 4 games across 4 pairs. Usually with a week-long tournament, you can get upwards to 1,300 entries. So it's a lot. And each squad, you're bowling for buys, either a 2-round buy, 1-round buy, or a guaranteed spot. They take 96 bowlers. The top 24, I believe, get a 2-round buy. The next 24 get a 1-round buy. And then after that, it's just straight 1 game elimination. That's it. And it's a tournament that no one has. It's been running for, gosh, I think close to almost 30 years, maybe longer. And there's been no 2-time champion. That's how hard it is.
Wow.
Like, he puts out a sport shot, it's 80% of 220, I believe, or 230. And the cut to make it has always been the same number. It's around 820 to 830 to make it. And I've been fortunate enough to win it once and finish second last year in it. It's just such a tournament that the family there that runs the bowling center, Bob and his entire family, they're fantastic. And to me, it's my favorite tournament to always bowl. And I hate missing it. I have missed it in the past, but it's a tournament that will forever. I'll bowl if I'm available. I'll find a way to get there.
Where's it at?
It's in Oswego, New York.
Okay.
So and unfortunately it's in March, so there's a lot of snow there. So you kind of have to deal with that. So it's not really a Midwest friendly place to go in the winter.
Yeah.
You Canadians would know all about that cold and snow, wouldn't you?
Oh, dude, I just went home last week and I had to shovel my driveway 3 times in one day.
Actually, we got a couple weeks ago. We got like 7 inches of snow here in good old Topeka, Kansas.
Yeah, 7 whole inches. Look out.
Well, I'm sure it melted in 2 days.
Yeah, you did actually.
It did. Yeah, my sister-in-law is from upstate New York, and when she moved here when she married my brother, and her car didn't have air conditioning in it. So you need that for Kansas, but yeah, you don't need that for upstate New York.
But no, back to Royal Flush Apparel. So Royal Flush Apparel is a brand new jersey company. They are officially PBA registered.
Okay.
I'm not entirely sure how many staffers he has. I believe it's 6 or 7 right now. But it is owned by Farrah Williams and Cassandra Williams.
Okay, cool.
So I've been fortunate enough to sign with them. I made a post earlier today. So everyone go check it out. The quality that they do, the time they put in to make sure that your jersey is right, whether it's the stitching, the collar, the zipper, everything. Like they think of everything and make it perfect. So it's definitely going to be a company that I'm going to stick around for a very long time with.
Awesome. Did you design all yours? I saw the designs on there.
It's been so I had an artist back in Canada a couple of years ago. He designed some jerseys for me with these kind of designs and the artwork, and I fell in love with them. So I asked him if I was able to use his artwork and give it to Royal Flush, and he said 100%.
Cool.
So kind of has like a mini ZW in it with some triangles, and then just like the maple leaves around it. So
yeah,
there's a lot of like Canadian things to it.
Yeah, they look good. I wonder if they full custom or if you had Pharaoh and then go ahead and design something for you. Or
yeah,
what.
they changed the artwork just a little bit, but yeah, they're fantastic, man. I highly recommend people to go check out their website.
Sweet. Good deal. Well, congratulations on both of those. I'm excited to see how you do with the under the Hammer brand. Obviously, you can throw the other stuff, but pretty excited to see what the future holds for you this upcoming season. Obviously,
I love it. Yeah, thank you, man. I mean, you guys see me bowl quite a bit in the tour of KCs, and
yeah. And
I mean,
the last together a few times together too. So
yeah, 100%. In the last couple of months, I don't think I've had a tournament where I finished less than 5th. So these balls have been really good for me lately.
Cool. Well, I mean, I'm sure it's definitely nice to have some stability or have something, now that, I mean, tour season's like a month away. So I'm sure it's nice to get everything settled and you're ready to go and you have a clear picture going forward and kind of got all your ducks in a row, it seems like.
Yeah, it was a stressful time for a little bit because you don't know if you're going to be able to get bowling balls from these companies if you ask. So it's kind of a breath of fresh air to be able to sign with someone, especially after being with one company for 13 years. I was kind of new to the whole free agent market, and it was a little overwhelming because you don't know how to ask these people or who to ask.
Yeah.
So I mean, I reached out to a lot of tour bowlers and said, who do I email? And what do I even say?
Yeah.
So it was definitely a new experience for me, and I'm glad that someone believed in me, and I look forward to representing their brand.
Did you go through? I'm assuming John for this one.
Yeah. So there was a regional at College Lanes in Kansas.
Yeah.
This past summer. And I think I just left Motive like a month prior.
Yeah.
So I still had Motive equipment because I didn't know who to ask or how to get equipment. So John happened to be there, and I've known John for quite a while. He's married to one of she's a very good Canadian bowler. She now lives in Michigan with him, and they're married. Valerie.
Yeah, my wife's actually friends with Valerie too. So
yeah, she's awesome. Yeah. We bowled juniors together. So
that's cool.
And she was very good back then too.
She throws it great.
Yeah. So I was able to ask John. I said, "Hey, man, I'm not sure who to ask, but he said he was one of the reps for this region." So I said, "All right, can I ask you?" And he's like, "Sure." So he was able to get me some bowling balls in my hands, and I was able to throw them. And he sent me more than I wanted, which overwhelmed me because I was not used to all those options.
Yeah.
But it's a blessing to have those options, though, knowing that they're in your back pocket when you need them.
Oh yeah,
and that's what I like. That's what I like about that.
Somebody's gonna have to get a picture of you and make a meme out of it when you walk onto the truck and you go to the Brunswick section of bowling balls for the first time, you're looking at like 75 shelves instead of one.
Oh well, it's crazy because Motive stuff was in the back right or back left corner, so I'm gonna have to go to the left side of the truck and the middle side of the truck now. So it's going to be a little different.
Just don't forget that there's another section.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's nice to just have those options in your back pocket.
Oh, absolutely. By the way, what's your favorite cut of a steak? Somebody asked earlier.
Yeah.
Sirloin, ribeye.
People are curious about the steak.
Jeez. Well, I got ribeyes marinating right now. You can't really go wrong with a good old ribeye, but
You're not wrong. I agree with that. 100%.
I will say I don't have it very often, but Wagyu steak is really good.
I don't know if I've
really good.
I don't think I've had Wagyu, but yeah, I'm
don't think I
very,
have.
very interested to try it.
Yeah.
I would recommend going to a restaurant and get it cooked there, because it's definitely something you can't have well done. I suggest Wagyu to be more medium to medium rare, just because how much more fat there is, than marbleization.
Yeah.
I guess is what you call it. I don't know.
I'm a
I'm
medium
still
guy.
trying to learn all these steaks.
Yeah.
And I like steak sushi.
Steak sushi. I'm a medium guy myself. I actually prefer a sirloin.
I'm
Okay.
But I mean, don't get me wrong. I'll eat a damn ribeye. Yeah, steak.
Yeah, I'm more of a salmon guy. I love fish. And
Well, yeah.
salmon. I eat salmon probably 3-4 times a week.
Sweet. I know when you messaged me, you were cooking steaks. I was like, damn. Now I need to cook a steak.
Yeah, I made you hungry, didn't I?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and we're making some au gratin potatoes to go with it.
Okay.
So, and I think some garlic bread too. We're just having a whole course, man. Whole main course.
They'll put you in a food coma.
Oh yeah, yeah. It'll be delicious though.
Do we need to let you go then?
I can stick around for a couple more questions.
Okay.
Yeah.
If there is questions.
Something I was going to say before I meant to say it before Packy got off, but something I really appreciate about you guys is that Packy is the same person on the videos that he is off the videos, and what he was talking about earlier about continuing to have that growth mindset. I've always thought it was weird for people to have an ego over knocking some weird looking sticks down with a heavy rock, basically. Yeah. And something that I've always said is that everybody else on the planet is better at something than you are. So just because you're good at something doesn't mean you're a better person than they are. And you guys are super cool to hang out with. And even though you're so much better bowlers than most other people out there, it just like that doesn't, you guys don't have an ego. You guys don't have this, I'm better than you, or I can't talk to you because you're not this good or whatever. And just being able to, feel like I can send you guys something and say, hey, you want to come on the show? And sure, come hang out. And
I told that comes with growing up. I believe as well. Like when I was a youth bowler, or I would say even before I started living here, like, I mean, I'll admit I was an asshole. Like I probably wasn't the guy you think I am now, but just being down here and surrounded by a lot of good people, it's just made me appreciate a lot more things in life. And there's a lot worse things than a bad day of bowling in life. So
that's a fact.
I've just come to accept that in the last couple of years, and I truly appreciate that you recognize that. It means a lot, man.
Mm-hmm. Holy shit, that's dark.
Yeah.
What do you guys got there?
He just threw it over.
This is a black ale. My brother is brewmaster of a brewery here in town, and he makes something called a Schwarzbier that I really like. It's a black ale, and so it's got like flavor like a heavier beer, but it's not heavy.
That's different.
I think the next tour at KC, which is in not this weekend, but the next weekend, you might have to bring a couple for me to try.
Yeah. I might have to get some stuff.
Yeah.
We can make that happen because I think we're gonna.
You gonna bowl that weekend?
Yeah. I think we're gonna be because it's grand finale weekend. So.
Yeah. It's good. If you bowl, I think if you bowl 4 or more events throughout the year, it's free entry.
Yeah. Well, it's 4 to qualify, and if you bowl 10, you get a free entry. But you got to bowl 4. Okay. The 4 tournaments is to be eligible for it.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
James just asked a good question in here for him because I'm sure he'll.
Oh. Okay.
Sure.
Yeah. Do you have any early ideas on what you're gonna carry around? So this is James Niffin, by the way.
Okay.
So what are a few of your other favorites that will be in the bag to start? And I know that you're going to be drilling a ton of stuff and figuring out what's going to work, and part of it's going to be yeah, so you have all these options, you have some stability, but figuring out what's going to be good for you on patterns, on against that kind of competition in those situations, you know, where do you go?
Basically, for the 2024 season, I'm probably going to throw a lot of balls that are familiar to me now. I'm not going to, like, I did place an order today that was rather large, just balls that I don't have. But probably to start the season, it's going to be a lot of familiar balls, so that way I don't get too confused or overwhelmed with, oh, he's throwing this ball, well, I got to throw that ball. You know, like certain balls just don't match up with certain people, and I feel like with a brand that comes out with over 100 balls a year, that can get very confusing, and you can trick yourself into just throwing wrong balls.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's right. I do throw the fireball a lot. That ball, God, that ball's good on everything.
He started throwing the fireball quite a bit here too. So
yeah, it's I will say, shout out to Dylan Burns. He made me order a top speed because that guy crushed the pins and struck a lot with that ball. So he made me order that ball. So that ball might make its way into the bag for 2024.
yeah.
But yeah, the fireball, probably that blue hand, that new.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to have 1 or 20 of those.
Yeah, the NV Tours have been really good for me, both the solid and the pearl. I really like the mindset. It's a ball that I can just really hit with a lot of surface and just use my hand. I just know what it's gonna do. It's a ball that just kind of blends the pattern for me. Like that's the thing. I'm still trying to learn these balls and know their names. So I don't even know what I have still.
You like the 2.0 hybrid too, don't you?
That's a good house shot ball. I don't throw it a lot on. It needs a lot of friction just with how clean that cover is. With how much I've thrown it. But it does serve its purpose. I threw it a lot in St. Louis because St. Louis just naturally all their lane beds hook a lot.
Oh yeah.
So that ball's probably coming with me to the holiday doubles, knowing how much friction there is there at that bowling center.
KC bowl that we bowled the trios, that you and me and Trevor bowled the trios, that reminds me of St. Louis.
Yeah, that, good Lord, that place hooks. Holy smokes.
It just doesn't stop.
Yeah, like never, and like, yeah, the fresh break transition, the burn, like it just flat out hooks no matter where. And like in every zone of the lane, like the front, the middle, and the back. I
was telling somebody a while back, I was like, the Summit used to be that. The place just hooks a ton. And then I started bowling at some events at KC Bowl, and I'm like, holy shit, this blows Summit out of the water.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, Aaron's house shot is dry, and it still is not even close to KC Bowl front to back.
I agree, man.
Golly.
You got your buddy Tobias in here asking when your ball review channel's starting.
Man, I am technology illiterate. Like, I'm just dumb when it comes to that stuff. Like, that might be a thing I work with Drew. So Drew owns the pro shop at Gladstone. I lay out my stuff. He drills my equipment. And he's also sponsored by the brands of Brunswick. So he might be someone I lean on to a little bit more now that I'm with the brands of Brunswick, and we might be able to collab with something, whether it's obviously a ball review channel or creating demo days around Kansas City now. I'll need to hire someone to do that for me, because I'm not very good at editing videos or even know where to begin with that. I just usually post a video and then elaborate on what I'm seeing.
Yeah. You're not alone in that. A lot of people are like that, though, to be honest. So.
Yeah, I had less than zero clue what I was doing starting out. I had no idea that I could even make my own thumbnails. So I just Google something and find whatever ball was out. I Google something. I'm like, okay, I guess that's the picture I'm using, because I have no idea what I'm doing here. So.
See, there's a thing for instance. I don't even know what a thumbnail is. Is that like the title of the video or the picture?
It's the picture that you see when you go to click on the video. That's the thumbnail.
Okay.
So that's the other thing is I didn't know what a thumbnail was either. So I had to figure out whether the picture thingy that shows up, that you click on to watch the video.
Believe it or not, thumbnails can actually they catch your eye, and if you
that
have
makes
a solid
sense.
thumbnail game, you get views out of it. So
So my next question, I guess, would be is if the thumbnail's not doing well, can you change it or no?
Yeah, that's the funny thing. Like there's a lot of channels out there that are devoted to teaching people how to YouTube right, basically. And so I watched a few of them, and they said that they've done experiments. It's like, okay, well, when we have a video that's not doing well, we change the thumbnail, we change the title, whatever else, and then it will take off. If you get something that just manages to catch people's eye or catch people's attention, that's all you have to do is get them to click on the video. And then the way the video is structured, that gets them to kind of keep watching, which is kind of funny because everybody always complains, oh, these clickbaity channels and every ball's the next must-have ball or whatever else. It's like they wouldn't do it if it didn't work. If you dumbasses didn't click on it, they wouldn't do it.
You can also change the titles too.
Yeah.
Because we had to do it a couple weeks ago because Packy was going to come on and then he couldn't make it. And then I talked to you and said, oh, hey, yeah, so we'll have them both on at the same time.
If I do start doing some ball reviews or starting my own YouTube, I might have to lean on you guys a little bit more.
Sounds good, man.
Knowing what the tricks are to this trade.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because I talk to Stu Williams every once in a while, and he kind of bitches a bit. Stu is hilarious when he gets on a rant. And then
he needs to be in every booth possible. He is so funny.
And his accent just takes it over the top. And he's just like, I can't do the accent, but he talks about it. He's like, yeah, man, I hate this clickbait shit. But nobody watches the effing video if you don't put best ball ever or question mark or some nonsensical face on your thumbnail. So.
No, I completely agree. And Stu's as blunt and honest as they are. That's the English fan over there.
Yeah.
And the guy doesn't drink.
God. Oh, God. I couldn't even imagine if he did. He'd probably be even funnier. And I don't even know how that's possible.
You got to figure that out. But.
Hey, I talked to him a little bit down at the Springfield Doubles. And I think we sat and talked for like 10, 15 minutes. And that guy is funny, man.
He's a riot. Yeah, he's
too funny.
Yeah.
No, but before I let you go, I just want to thank this Homer Lex guy. I appreciate it, man. I enjoy having fans, man. It's super cool, and I never really thought that the bowling world you could make fans. Like I just kind of go out there and bowl and kind of do my own thing. But I appreciate it, man.
Well, we appreciate having you on too.
Yeah,
I'm also a fan as well, so.
Hey, don't forget my sweater, by the way.
This one right here?
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah.
Man. I forgot. Not only
are
we friends, but I'm a fan of yours as well. So
thank you guys.
Hang out with us.
Show you a few things here. This Homer Lex is we have a dog rescue fundraiser stream that's coming up on Saturday, and he reached out to me several months ago and said, hey, can I send you something? I'm like, oh, sure. Most people send us like beer or whatever else.
Yeah.
This guy sent me a couple of pins that he had made out of old bowling balls. So this is like a it's hard to see, but this is like
wow.
That's a tropical surge. This he made out of.
Here's our dog.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, he makes all kinds of crazy stuff. This is a bottle opener made out of.
Holy, that is so cool! I'm gonna have to hit him up for some of that stuff.
Yeah,
that's so cool.
This is Angel sent him a timeless, and so he made a knife handle out of the timeless. We also have
wow.
Some of the balls that don't have the cord, like he made a bowl. This is a bowl from the timeless.
That is a serious bowl for cereal. That is a cereal bowl if I've ever seen one.
So yeah, I can send you his email address.
What makes them crazy though is like these are obviously they're storm balls, but you can still smell the scent. of them.
Well,
this is the most badass bottle opener I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Well, I know someone who would like to smell those.
Oh,
yeah.
I don't know who that is.
Yeah, this one, he made this one out of a Spectre. This is an illegal bottle opener here, but That's how we like to
Dude,
roll.
that I'm gonna have to get that bowl because I would have me a shit ton of cinnamon toast crunch in that.
Yeah. He made me a pizza cutter that you could murder somebody with.
Oh yeah.
I mean, this thing is crazy.
That is so cool and like literally thinking outside of the box, and I love that.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
He actually just said in here, hit me up, Zach. So
Yeah.
we'll get it to you.
The bowling pin bottle stopper.
Oh, is that for like wine?
Yeah, this is for like wine or whiskey bottles, and it's a frickin' bowling pin. I know I don't have the right spot, but yeah,
That's pretty
cool. He already
had a wine stopper. So.
I'm sold on 4 of those items already.
Yeah,
Love it.
Right.
Love it.
Well, Zach, we'll let you go, man. It sounds like you're ready to get off and cook some food. So,
dude, I can't wait to have this steak, man. Gonna be good.
I have no doubt. I'm gonna make some soon. Now
Nice.
I'm hungry thinking about it. But once again,
sorry, but I'll send you guys a picture.
Oh, please do. Thanks for being
thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it, man.
Cool dude and a friend of mine, and thank you for coming on the show. We appreciate you guys. So
yeah. Thank you so much. Much love, guys. Much love.
Yeah.
Bye, Tegan.
We'll see you. Yeah.
See ya.
See ya.
Bye. Awesome.
All right.
You know what? That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Hope you all enjoyed having Mr. Packy Hanrahan on the show, 2-time PBA National Tour champion now.
Yeah.
And Zach Wilkins, who has also made at least one television show that I'm aware of. You can find those. He may have 2, but I know he's got one. It was one that I think he bowled the Shioto, or however you say his name, the Japanese guy that stormed. I think he bowled.
Shota. Yeah, he bowled Shota.
Yeah. So.
But yeah, he's also been on there's some nonsense going on with the Canadian national team, but he's been on the Canadian national team several times.
And he's a gold medalist multiple times with the Canadian national team.
Yeah. So he's a
super good guy. A lot of people don't see him too much because last year for sure he had to chase the tour qualifying rounds. I don't know if he made it through to the next, so where he doesn't have to chase those next year. But we all wish him best of luck, and also Packy as well to have a big season. Hopefully he can bring home a couple more just like he did last year. So now let's have some fun.
Yeah, we can hang out for a little. What are you doing?
Thanks, Luke and Jason Statham. You guys are rock stars. Yeah. I like being Jason Statham. I wish I could have the accent, but damn, the hairline's right.
What are you doing, Buck?
I wish I was that cool.
What are you doing, Bucko?
Oh, hi. You just want to be on the show tonight.
This dog is weird.
Hi.
What are you doing, Buck?
And I promise you, we did not coordinate the same colored hoodies tonight.
Yeah, we had. Yeah,
we just showed up and we were like that Spider-Man meme, just pointing at each other.
What are you doing, Buck?
How about that solid absolute?
This dog has separation anxiety.
Some dogs do. My Saint Bernard has that, I think, sometimes.
Yeah, she's weird. Pig, you coming, Piggy? Come here, Aspen Pig. Come on, Pickles. Hi, Pickles.
Nah, we got love
you're
on
a good
this
pig.
one.
Yep, you're a good pig.
Let me move that. Oh, that's yours.
Yep, you good pig. You're the best pig.
This is also a good time to remind everybody that we do have a stream coming up on Saturday evening at 6 p.m. Central. It is the 2023 Pawsitive Tails fundraiser / giveaway that we will be doing, and we will be live on the air for for at least 3 hours. Obviously,
3 hours. We'll start at 6, and then we'll do the drawing at 9.
Yep.
So we'll give people a few hours. I think we already have $3,000 raised so far.
Good deal.
I'd have to check with Angel on the official numbers, but we've already got several $1,000s raised. Yeah, what's the ball of choice summit? I was telling somebody else that I was telling Trent last night. He came over and picked up a couple balls.
Oh, yeah.
Is that my last 4 weeks have been between 7:31 and 7:39.
Yeah.
Like you can just pencil me in for 7:30 something, and it's not like it's been super pretty the whole time.
Yeah.
But I throw that ball and the pins fall down, so I'm not going to ask questions or read too much into it.
And for those that paid a little bit of attention last week, Luke and I did bowl each other last Thursday night. Actually, head to head.
Yeah, and we split.
So
we split.
We just thought we'd be nice to each other, and he kicked me in the nuts. I kicked him in the nuts, and we call it good.
Yeah, you won the. I had the front 10 on you the second game, and that's what got me series.
Hi, buddy.
But you beat me the first and third games.
I finally had a game 3 that wasn't
Buck.
180.
What are you doing, you dingo? Storm's new nickname is Richard, by the way. You figured that one out.
Is that abbreviated for
Yeah.
beep?
Uh-huh.
So, yes, please come hang out with us Saturday night if you got nothing going on. Even if you have something going on, you want to tune in for a couple minutes just to listen, go for it. We'll also be doing our end of the year bowl awards. Luke will pick his, and James will pick his. James drills a lot. Luke obviously is under the Storm umbrella, so he'll be picking from a limited number of balls. James is a free agent.
Yeah,
I didn't drill a ton this year, so my categories are going to be a little weird. It's just going to be mostly a wealth of what I drilled this year. So
yeah, we got mass.
Down goes doggy glass.
Well, yeah, hopefully that didn't.
It didn't get it.
No, well, that did get all over the computer.
Did it really?
Yeah. I was wondering if that was going to happen. So yeah, if we just randomly short out, the dog just dumped my beer all over the computer. So. Okay,
last number he saw, James saw, was 3,150. So 3,150. What a Richard. That's what somebody said. Oh, Jason Nelson.
Yeah.
Did it get in there?
There is I don't think a whole lot got in there, and if it did get in there, it got on the fans. So
woo!
I think we're okay.
Safe.
Dingo, DINGO.
Good old Richard.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is perfect timing. Now you know why he's got that new nickname.
Now you know why he's Richard.
Mm-hmm.
Are you Richard?
Oh, yeah.
You know I'm not Richard. Anyway.
Yeah.
Well, we can also mention too what we talked about.
Who's your favorite little rascal?
We can also mention too what we talked about our January plans too.
Yeah. So as soon as I get this all,
we'll wait till you can get over here and actually on a hot mic so we can actually hear you.
Yeah. DINGO.
So the Red Sox actually traded for a guy yesterday whose name is Richard Fitz.
Interesting.
And you can guess what his nickname or his actual what he goes by.
Yeah.
So Richard Fitz, hopefully he's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah. DINGO. Move.
Let's say you could have handed that to me. I'll take care of it.
No, we're good.
Buckwheat, he is Otay.
Ding dong. Thanks, dude.
Man, that was a lot of fun having those guys on. Once again, thanks again for sending in those questions. Those are great questions.
Yep.
And even Packy said the same thing. He said how he enjoyed that instead of what's your favorite bowling ball? What's your typical?
It's a different mindset for them out on tour, and so they don't really their favorite bowling ball is the one that strikes the most. They can't really think about things like. They can't think about things like league bowlers do. Yeah. They have to look at bowling balls as tools and whatever strikes the most. And so it's just you idiot, what are you doing?
What is it?
Hey, Richard.
What is he doing?
He's knocking over the brace I set up for the bar down there.
Oh.
You have to be in everything.
January.
Come here.
Sounds like we're going to
go outside.
We talked about taking pretty much the month of January off.
Yeah. So my daughter and her family is going to be in town. They live in Pennsylvania, and so they're going to be in town for 2 weeks. They come for 2 weeks every January. Yeah. We have a bunch of. So my stepson's birthday is January 3rd. My sister-in-law's birthday is January 6th. My parents' anniversary is January 7th.
Oh gosh.
Our granddaughter's birthday is January the 8th. And then our daughter's birthday is January the 13th. So we have a bunch of stuff going on then. And so they just come hang out for a couple weeks. And we're going to be kind of redoing the set here. So we're going to paint the wall, and we're going to put some of the beer signs I used to have from Beer Frame when I did that way back when with Lockwood. We're going to put some of those beer signs back up and whatever else, and just kind of revamp this so it's just not a stupid looking wall behind us. So
I still think we need a chalkboard. So we can write a stupid slogan.
Yeah. We need something like Beef and Barnesy have so that he can piss people off.
Yeah. String pins? ?
Yeah, that or the one that and that's really funny how stuff how stuff just kind of surfaces after whatever else. It's been forever, like the kid at the Chiefs game that had the headdress on or whatever else, and everybody got all wound up about it. It's like it was from the Super Bowl last year, and the kid is Indian, and everybody got all wound up about it.
Oh, yes.
Or just the Stu had one up. It's like if you're still counting 300s, you don't have enough on the chalkboard, and it was it was a shot at one of his friends, and everybody that popped back up on Savage Bowling memes or whatever else. Yeah. It happened. He put that on there. It was like a year and a half ago, and he says his wife is the one that puts those up anyway.
Yeah.
And he's like, why is this a thing again? And why are people mad again? So yeah, we probably need a chalkboard to just piss people off.
Last time I got in there and hung out in the Beef and Barnesy show, just obviously in the chat, it got into our favorite Chipotle orders. Yeah. And I was sending in what like our favorite Chipotle orders. And Stu said something like, he called me basic because my order.
Yeah.
Because it's like steak, chicken, rice, and salsa and cheese. That's that's all I go for.
It's so great.
I will say carne asada from Chipotle.
Got a bat squatch in here.
But who's counting? Are we staying with the same table, aren't we?
Table?
Yes.
Yeah. The table's staying the same. We will probably like zoom out a little bit because we'll have more stuff in the background. So some of the reason why this is zoomed in so far is because the wall looks like dog shit. And, I don't really think that you guys want to see us like right up in front in HD, but
I mean,
let's see.
You can. I think we're kind of pretty.
Dry. So let's try it.
You may not.
Yeah, we'll see how bad this is.
Is this dry stout?
Yeah, find out. Yeah. God, you may want to drink that non-alcoholic Guinness.
No.
Give it a shot. Yeah, it's not as dark as that black IPA or that.
That was not. It wasn't bad though.
Yeah.
Looks like motor oil. Here it is, Lagunitas IPA.
Yeah,
that was awful.
The beers we had earlier, we've had some Oktoberfests in here that are like a year old, and we got new ones this year that we ended up drinking, and so we had to just get rid of some stuff that's in the little fridge down here.
It's not terrible.
Yeah.
I can manage that.
It isn't bad.
I can stomach it. All I know is that damn Lagunitas and whatever else the other one was freaking terrible.
Awful.
God, it was awful.
Awful.
No.
Yeah, you just can't. You just got to drink them out of the bottle.
Okay to Beer Fest.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people still hanging out in here with us that was with us when Packy and them were on. So.
Yeah. We're interesting too.
No, not really. We're just a couple of idiots that drink beer and sit here and talk in front of a camera.
Yeah, Public House, we get them from whenever I go down to Branson, we stop by, and that's kind of like a local brand, Southern Missouri or something like that. But that's where I get them at anyway. So
I was going to look at the calendar real quick.
But yeah, down in the description, we have stuff for the fundraiser and the year-end recap. So we've got several. So it's not just a fundraiser. We do it. We talk about everything that happened in bowling. We have some awards that we hand out. We kind of revamp our top 10, top 5 of all time lists. And so we're going to go through and do stuff like what's our favorite ball of the year? What's the best looking ball of the year? What's the one that we were really disappointed with? What blah, blah, blah. So, but yeah, we'll have that going on while we're doing the fundraiser. And again, we've already had, I think James put in here where it was close to 3,000.
3150.
So yeah, what happened to my frickin' mouse? Am I blind?
Did it die?
It probably died because I don't even see where it's
turn it off and turn it back on. Sometimes if you do that, it'll wake it back up.
Maybe it's not working because somebody put beer all over the computer.
It's yeah.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
Now it's alive.
There we see it now.
But yes, down in the description, you'll see the details. Here for the beer, stay for the bowling. Even better. I like it. I like it a lot.
Yep, there's not a whole lot going on in the bowling world, but we're about to have some stuff going on in the bowling world.
PBA season getting ready to start.
And so we still have Rhino Page to come on at some point and talk about the big bowling thing. And then he grew up with Brad Miller, so we'll get Brad on at some point. We might even try to get him. On
Next show.
the next show, just to get his preview of things.
Which is?
It would be the 20th.
Yes.
So it's the week before. It's the week before Christmas.
Yeah.
So that'd be good to get his kind of perspective on things and
Ask him how St.
leading
Louis
into
is treated
stuff.
right now because he's living in St. Louis.
Yeah, he's living in St. Louis. Talk about this. The Absolute Power and the Summit Peak. Yes, we got those release on January 19th. So I'll have ball reviews up on December 29th. So it's still another 3 weeks out, but we'll have them up when we can get them up. And also I had told people that we weren't going to have a Sublime review. We don't get the global. They don't send out the global stuff to us, and neither Angel or I were terribly interested in it. And so sometimes it really depends with that when we have to order them. Sometimes it's kind of like, do I really want to spend all that time making a video for a ball that I'm probably not going to throw? There's a bunch of stuff in that general zone with the Sublime. The Summit Peak is one of them. But I mentioned on the last show that Zach Rhodes is going to be in some of the videos now going forward, because it's another. James is throwing a bunch of Brunswick stuff, but Zach is a storm staffer. So I thought about, everybody been asking about getting extra testers on and whatever else, and Zach's kind of like, or Zach Rhodes is kind of like Wilkins in that, he doesn't really care about the YouTube side of things. He doesn't. He's not terribly interested in that. Doesn't know what he's doing there, and so. But Storm offers incentives for stuff, and so we get Storm bucks basically for doing videos and reviews on websites and stuff like that. And so I told him it's like, I think everybody really like watching it. He won a national championship at Wichita State.
Yeah.
He's got a Team Eagle with Prather and Brent Bowers and Schwashka, and I forget the other one that was on that team. But
I remember.
He shot 300. He went with our group to nationals in 2019, I believe. No, it was 2021, and he shot 300 in team there. So very, very good, very accomplished bowler, and he drilled a Sublime. And so we will have a Sublime review featuring our new tester that's going to be in a lot of videos going forward. So
cool.
He throws it really good. He can play all over the lane. It's just going to be good to have a different perspective, especially since James is bowling, or he's drilling a lot of B7 stuff. He drills the occasional Storm ball, but he just is feeling the B7 stuff more. And so we'll get a high rev righty tester back on the team, and Zach can do all kinds of things. And so it's just going to be that's a win-win across the board for us. James has the
updated number there.
The updated number 3214 so far for the Doggos fundraiser. So normally we have about $4,000 before we start the stream, and then we get a couple extras. So, but as far as the Power and the Summit Peak, yeah, the Power is it's a solid absolute, and so I kind of like this. It's the same cover formula. It's just solid instead of a pearl, so it's going to be earlier and smoother.
Yeah.
And then the Summit Peak is a pearl Summit. They didn't do anything different with the cover there, and so it should be cleaner and sharper. We'll have to see on that too, though, because the Summit is actually a hybrid. It acts again. The solid pearl hybrid thing doesn't really matter so much when you're talking about different cover stock formulas, because you have something like an Omega Crux that's technically a pearl, and it's one of the earliest, smoothest balls I've ever thrown. So, but within the same formula, you know, the Summit Pearl should be cleaner and sharper than the Summit. The Summit kind of acts like and again, it's a hybrid, but it's really early and slow. It again is one of the earliest, slowest balls I've ever thrown. And, you know, it just doesn't act like a hybrid, so to speak. Yeah. So we'll see what happens there, but looking forward to both of those.
That big time I drilled the other day, I like it.
Yes.
Actually looked really good at gauge,
believe
it or not.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get all that surface off of it. It's just, it's so early and smooth right now, but I can't wait to get to that surface off it. But I like it. And for like you see the colors, black and silver, you think, or black and silver. You think,
it looks really sharp.
It's going to be ugly. No, it looks
really
a damn good looking bowling ball.
Mm-hmm.
I did not realize though that it had so much chalk. It was like so chalky out of the box.
Yeah,
but that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
It was more of a want than a need in that situation. So, does Summit Peak have the AI at golf ball outer core?
Yep, the Sublime does too, and so I was kind of interested in it, but at the same time, we've got so many balls. I don't quite understand what they're doing right now, because we had the Zen Gold label that came out a couple months ago. Then we had the TNT infused, which is another strong, shiny, symmetric.
Right.
And then we get the Journey, which is kind of another strong, shiny, symmetric. And then we get the Sublime, which is another strong, shiny, symmetric. And now we have the Summit Peak, which is another strong, shiny, symmetric. Global's line, you have Zen Gold label, and Sublime.
Yeah.
They're all on top of each other. And then you have the Reality and the Eternities, and then you have the Exponent way down here, and then nothing else. So I don't understand why they've got 3 strong, symmetric, shiny balls, and then they've got Reality, Eternity, Pi, and then we have the Exponent down here by itself. And then why I don't quite understand, but I guess we'll see. They've all been they're all good. I mean, that I think is the TNT infused was surprisingly good. I think everybody was kind of expecting, it's like, oh God, the TNT wasn't great, and this thing, whatever. The infused is surprisingly good.
Yeah.
The gold label's good. I can't throw the Journey because it's just too flippy. Angels looks really good. The Sublime looks good right now from what I can tell, and I love the Summit, so I'd be stunned if the Peak sucks. So I mean, there's a little bit of diversity in there. The Journey's the cleanest one of all of them. The Infused has a cleaner cover stock on it, so it's not as strong as the Sublime or the Summit Peak, but they all kind of shape similarly, and that TNT core is so chunky that it makes up a lot of ground. It helps those covers out quite a bit, so we'll see. You're kidding, a high rev tester who actually throws it good upgrade. Yeah.
Okay.
But the Summit, despite the looks, is pretty good so far. Yeah, I mean, and I think that the companies everybody's coming out with so much stuff so quick, and that's kind of based on consumerism, because a lot of people like the overseas. You know, internationally, they make smaller batches and they just put them out. It's like one new ball a week comes out overseas. And it seems like people have really short attention spans now.
Yeah.
And so everybody's like, oh my gosh, they just don't keep these balls in the rotation. It's like, well, they wouldn't keep producing this many balls this fast if people weren't buying them, or they didn't help out, or it wasn't effective.
Yep.
So they're just reacting to the market. So I don't personally see a problem. It can be a little hard to keep track of things if you're looking at it from a perspective of, I'm trying to look at ball reaction rather than, oh, this ball seems really cool, I want this.
Yeah.
So I can understand it from that perspective, but at the same time, if the ball is good, then it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. True.
I mean, and they keep cycling things through. Bowling balls are kind of at the high limit of, you're not going to see any significantly significant advances in technology. They kind of play Mr. Potato Head right now, and just kind of nip and tuck and nip and tuck and nip and tuck. So something like Dynamicore or the dot technology where they have the pin on the bottom.
Yeah.
So it's kind of innovative, different things, or like the AI core that actually, I mean, the Summit's a freaking monster. You can't tell me that all of a sudden I've just started throwing it this much better.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm throwing it better. I'm not throwing it like my average last year was 212, and this year I'm up to 228 in Medlin now.
Yeah. You
can't tell me that I just suddenly got almost 20 pins better.
It's the ball.
Yeah.
I'm just messing with you.
It's definitely the ball. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. My nose is
I'm just messing with you.
As brown as one of the puppy dogs over there.
Is that you?
I'm drinking all the Kool-Aid.
No, the ball looks damn good.
Yeah, I mean,
I heard 2 balls will be released per month in 2024 for SPI. That's a lot. That's a lot. I hope that's not
true. That's a lot, but it's kind of. I think that I think that's one of those things where they have 3 brands, and so if you have 2 balls from each company every month, so if you had 2 global balls in January, and then you have 2 storm balls in February and 2 rotogrip in March, so they're only releasing a couple balls every 3 months.
Yeah.
Every brand releases about 9 or 10 balls a year, and so it's like 30 balls a year. So yeah, I mean that's 2, 3, 4 balls a month, which sounds like a lot.
Yeah.
But
that's a lot.
What the market is kind of after.
2 balls a month is a lot. I mean, that's a lot. Bowling ball in there.
Yeah. This is one. This is what really gets me about their Storm used to take actual pictures of a bowling ball. Now they're doing renders, and the renders look nothing like the actual ball in person. It's crazy. The Summit, everybody got excited about the Summit Pearl that popped up overseas. It was this really bright, kind of grayish, silvery, light blue. And then in person, it's like a darker Fate. So it's like a very dark, it's kind of a cool looking blue, but it's very, very, it looks nothing like the render. And what he's talking about is this, the Hustle Chili. The render is like bright orange, like Idle Helios orange. And then you get it's a very dark orange, like brown almost, which is weird. So. I might be throwing it 5 to 10 pins a game. Well, I was throwing it really bad last year, actually. I was throwing it really bad. I'm throwing it better this year, but the Summit is the Summit. I think the Summit is what made everything click, because I wasn't really throwing it that great earlier this year, and then when I finally, the Summit actually has helped me throw the ball better. So it kind of got me going in the right direction.
Weird thing to say, but sometimes seeing a ball have really good ball reaction can also help you throw it better. In my opinion.
And that's actually a thing.
Yeah. No, it really is.
That's 100% a thing, because if you feel confident in your ball reaction, your execution is going to be better. As soon as you feel like you're bowling in a phone booth and you get tight, that's when everything just goes out the window.
I just had to give you some shit about it, because I know that you are throwing it better. I've even told you this.
Yeah, I'm throwing it better, but figuring out my A game, and because I mean we won't talk about team in Tulsa.
That's all right. I'm only throwing it better, or I'm only scoring in Lawrence. I'm throwing it like shit everywhere else, but
I mean I think you're throwing it better too.
Oh, I'm getting there. Don't get me wrong, I'm getting there. It'll work itself out. I'm back. I think after last week I'm back to 20 again. So. Right at 220, but
it's a little tough when you bowl league a couple times a week, and Ray is only going to get busier with stuff. The older she gets, you're just going to be going there. You're going to have so much more stuff, and you're just not going to have time to practice. And honestly, you're not going to want to practice.
I can't tell you the last time I did practice.
Well, and see, that's the thing, is I missed a bunch of stuff when Chris was in high school. And you just don't want to miss the stuff for bowling.
My practice is
league. You just don't. Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah. And tournaments.
Yeah.
You just have to bowl a bunch of league and tournaments to get your reps in, because otherwise practice. Practice?
What is that?
Talk about practice?
Yeah, I mean, daughter has gymnastics 3 nights a week. We have a show every other week.
Yeah.
But, my day's home on Mondays, and so say a week that we don't have a show, Mondays and Wednesdays, I get a chance to sit on my butt for a couple hours. I'm going to sit on my butt for a couple hours.
You don't want to go anywhere or do anything.
Fridays is hit or miss. We usually seem like we're busy, and then it seems like here lately, Saturday, Sunday, I'm always bowling something. So it's that's why I took the summer off last year, or it's why another reason why I've been taking the summers off is to give myself just a break, just a mental break. I don't know if I'm going to do that again this year. I think I'm going to go back and bowl the Thursday doubles in Lawrence. Just
taking the summers off is rough.
It was rough because it felt like every time I bowl something, and I was off for 3 weeks, and then I go back and I just throw it like pure ass.
Yeah.
Which seems to be that way all the time.
Yeah, getting that league's great for getting some reps in. And
I like the 4 games.
Yeah, we get 4 games, and we already are used to bowling on Thursdays anyway. So
yeah, and I'm good right now. So you can have your non-alcoholic one.
Oh, so I was gonna say, yeah, you gotta taste this out of the
I
can.
will try it.
You gotta taste it out of the can first because it might be.
Yeah, it's hopefully I can find some time at some point to actually get some practice because I know what I need to work on. I just need to find the damn time to do it.
It actually tastes like Guinness.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
Yeah, we'll see what it tastes like outside of the can. But yeah, this tastes like Guinness in the can. So
yeah,
give it a shot.
Well, I'm excited to sit down and talk bowling balls and stuff and dogs on Saturday. I'm looking forward to it.
God, I love watching
I know,
Guinness.
I do too. It's so cool. I'm the bad guy though. I'll be streaming from home because I'm bowling, of course. So I'll be making it right in time to right at showtime. So don't hate me. James will be live on set. Luke will be live on set, and I will be the douche that's at home.
That's decent outside the can.
Nice part is I'll be closer to a pisser from home.
Mm-hmm.
So if I have to go, because I will drink, I'll have some drinks. Maybe a little whiskey with me.
It has to be drunk out of the. This is okay, but
I thought out of the can was fine. That didn't bother me.
Yeah, the can is fine. This is actually probably the closest thing. The other stuff is it's okay out of the can, but this actually tastes like real Guinness out of the can.
Yeah, this isn't bad at all.
Close.
St. James Gate, Dublin. I can tell you the last time though that I physically had an actual real Guinness, and it was when we went to Kilkenny's for brunch that one day. It was the day that we had to bowl like 3 o'clock in Tulsa.
Yeah.
That sucked because we got home so late, but I did really love the heck out of being able to go have brunch.
I was talking to Trent about that because he asked us about Springfield this year, and I said, "Well, we're going on our own in June,
right? Yeah."
And we were talking about Tulsa a little bit, and I said, "Yeah, the year that he couldn't make it, I guess we had to get a couple of. That was the first year that we had to get a couple of subs because Trent couldn't make it last minute.
Yeah,
because he was sick and." Whatever else, I think that was the year that we bowled the 9 o'clock team squad, and then we went to the breweries because we bowled first thing in the morning, and then
we didn't bowl 2 team events either.
Yeah, we only bowled 1 team event because that's all he could get.
Yep.
And so we went to the breweries and had a great time, and then it was like noon or 1 o'clock for the double and single squad on Sunday, and so we went to Kilkenny's for brunch before we went to bowl, and that was great. And then now it's kind of like, oh, we're bowling 2 team squads. Yay, I get to shoot 5.50 550 or something.
I went 6.060.
Yeah.
No, 6.016. I was consistent as heck the entire tournament.
God, I was consistent also. Yeah, that's
6.6666.
Yeah, that's the other thing is that we had Zach Wilkins was bowling with us in Tulsa
on our team.
Yeah, and I had to shoot 2-0 the last game of the first team set to get to 5-0.
Hey, you did it though.
Yeah,
you're my damn hero.
Yeah, that's one of those things where it's like, and this is the other thing that Zach was talking about. I was talking about the ego thing earlier.
Yeah,
Zach had gone and bowled a couple weeks before, and it's all he could talk about was how bad he bowled. He's like, oh my God, I shot like 530, 580, and whatever else. He's like, I was dog shit and it was terrible and whatever else. And so I'm sitting there in team. I go 140 something, 150 something the first 2 games of the first team set. and it was just impossible. On the Trevor had 380 going in after the first two, and he's the best lefty, the best bowler probably, period, that you've never heard of. He is ridiculously good. Him and Packy bowl some double stuff around here every once in a while, and they win. It's a competition for second place and everything else, because if they bowl a KC doubles tournament together, everybody else is bowling for second place. Right. Literally.
I mean, it's like that with Trevor and Dylan.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't tell you the last time they lost the doubles tournament in one of those.
Yeah.
They changed the handicap in Dave and Mike's tournament. They still won last time.
Yeah. It just doesn't matter.
It was closer, but they still won.
But yeah, and Zach was like, man, that just looks bad over there. It's like, yeah, it's not like 140, 150 bad. It's bad, but it's not
that first team squad, you looked uncomfortable.
It's not embarrassing. And I'm sitting here looking like a NASCAR driver. And, it's just whatever.
Legit, and this is my opinion, but I think that first team set, the ball reaction was shit.
Oh, my God.
And because of that, you looked uncomfortable. Like, it just you didn't look in sync.
Well, that's what we were talking about with ball reaction. It's kind of like I was trying to force ball reaction or something to work, and I had to learn something that I wasn't good at whatsoever.
Yeah.
However, because I just had to chuck the ball down the lane to keep it on the correct side of the head pin, that ended up working out really good the following day in doubles and singles, because all I did was just chuck it straight down 5, and it worked out great.
I'm trying to remember what I went outside my comfort zone a little bit too. I'm trying to remember what it was that I did. I was fading what? It was that team event, or no, it was. I did it in team event too, but it's doubles where I was like, ball return, like against the ball return, fading what?
I don't know, but it was as bad as the left side was for team. The right side was just as equally as bad.
But I had a look doing what I was doing. I don't remember what the hell I was doing.
I don't know, but you were the deepest, probably about the deepest I've ever seen you.
Well, I can do it. I have no problem doing it. I just don't like it. Oh, I had to do it on Sunday for the Tour KC. We bowled on that Stonehenge, and if you miss left at all, so we just moved one pair to the right.
Mm-hmm.
Pair we first hit, bowled on, had a little bit of hold. Then we hit James's pair. We bowled behind him all day. But that second pair we hit, my God, and hold didn't exist. There was zero hold, and they just got awful. I am actually excited to bowl all of GTO next year at Broken.
I am really excited.
I am actually,
man, because they put out we ended up 75th and 70.
We ended up 75th out of 2,000, 1,500 teams. So
in doubles.
Yeah.
I ended up in the combines. I was 20th in handicap and 17th in scratch.
You're gonna make some money
for the combine. And so if everything is there next year, and all I have to do is just dump it up 5.
Well, that's the best year you've had there yet.
Yeah. I've had a couple. I've had a good set here and there.
Yeah.
I've never had it. It's kind of like, because Trent was talking about Springfield too. He's like, I've never done good in Springfield. And I'm like, well, it is one of those things, like when we go to Olathe, I'm like, okay, we're going to Olathe, but I've never bowled good at Olathe. And Springfield is kind of the same way. I had one singles and doubles set where I went absolutely berserk. And every other time, I think my high set in team is like 640 or something.
Yeah.
In Springfield, that's always awful. And then doubles and singles is kind of like, well, it's passable, but you've got to shoot 690 in singles to cash.
Well, that's the other thing too, is if you go down there with the mindset, like obviously like Trent has, going in there to bowl, you're gonna bowl like pure crap.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're already dreading, I don't bowl well down here. I mean, I'm sorry, you might get lucky. 90% chance you're gonna bowl like pure crap.
Mm-hmm.
It's mental game. Walking in the building, I always try to look at it, even if I hate the center. Usually it ends up in bad things, but walking into Olathe East, I don't walk in. Here we go again. It's Olathe East. You go with an open mind. Just say, hey, let's play what's there and see what I can get to. I mean,
that's the thing is, like, I start thinking it's like, okay, I've been here, I've done this before, so I know what to expect, and so this is going to go better this time.
Yeah.
Most of the time it doesn't, but positive mindset.
I don't think I've bowled at Olathe since the since the state tournament was there. I've missed couple of the holiday ones. I've been skipping them, and that was the last time I bowled there. I actually bowled really well for state. I think I had like 730 in doubles, no singles, and then the pair got kind of shitty, but I think it got to like 680, 690 in doubles, and it's one of those things where if I would have walked in there and said, "Oh, here we freaking go again," it would have been awful. So because I hate that building with a passion. Mm-hmm. So maybe we got a lucky pair, but blind squirrel finds it out every once in a while. Yeah, same thing with Gage. I finally got to the point with Gage. I'm still not crushing him there. It shows you the difference. I'm 210 there, and I'm 220 in Lawrence. Yeah. But Gage, I've kind of like finally gotten to the point where I walk in the building, and it's don't expect anything. Just go throw the ball. And if it's good, it's good. If it's bad, it's bad. I pocketed 410 there the other day on a light hit. It's like, what the heck is that? Like, I don't know. And it cost me a game, like, to win the game. Mm-hmm. I was cruising to get my point. All I had to do was stay clean. I get up there, throw a shot, throw it pretty good. It got kind of lazy. I might have missed a little in the putt a little bit because that pair was pretty cleft. Mm-hmm. And I remember looking at that 410 and going, how the F does that happen? Yeah. Only in this building. Because the racks aren't bad in that place. They really aren't. I've seen it. I've seen twister pins with the heads off. Yeah. And if you see that in that situation, do you re-rack it? Yeah, but the problem is it's going to end up behind you, and you're not going to know where it's at. Mm-hmm. Trevor might want to have to drop me a GTI. Might. He might. No. I bowled. We enjoyed bowling with Hunter too. Hunter and Megan. We always seem to bowl with Hunter and Megan, that second squad.
Of course, I'm going to have to bowl scratch next year, though.
Yes, you are. Shit, you throw it like you did this last year. You ain't got to worry about it.
Yeah, true.
True story. You throw it like that, you may not have to worry about it.
Yeah. What you doing, Buck? Buck?
He says, you got 2 minutes left. I'm trying to get you to get off here.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. What's up, Richard?
Dingo. D-I-N-G-O. What you got? You want some, Buck?
Hi, Richard.
Yeah.
It is non-alcoholic, by the way.
Yeah.
Hi, Richard.
You're bad enough sober.
You're bad enough
you
sober.
dingo.
Hi, buddy. My Wolverine strike kicked ass last night, regardless of being 114 pounds. Oh.
Yeah.
Hi, buddy. Hi.
Mm-hmm.
You're a wild animal. You really are a wild animal.
What? Woof.
I guess we can get ready to sign off.
Woof. Yeah.
I kind of got to pee.
Yep. What you doing? Buck, what are you doing?
Well, once again, thank you, everybody, for hanging out with us. And Packy did join us tonight. We promised we weren't it wasn't clickbait tonight. Yeah. Packy joined us, and Zach Wilkins joined us, and we had a pretty good time. Asked them a lot of good questions, and honestly, their answers were fantastic.
Yep. That was.
It wasn't. They weren't short, quick answers. They were actually. They thought out what they were going to say, and it was great. I enjoyed the heck out of it. Zach made a couple new fans in here, and everybody loves Packy. So
yeah.
And I don't.
What? Buck?
What are you
I
yelling
know.
at me
I understand.
about?
What are you talking about?
So. Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
He's a Broncos fan.
Oh,
what about it?
Well, you going to yell at me about something now? Yeah. And I will work on Brad for the next show, which will be December 20th.
Yeah.
I'll put a poll in our Facebook group at some point in time as we get closer towards January. If you guys like Wednesday nights, we can stay Wednesday nights. I'm flexible. He's flexible. We go back to Mondays.
That's the other thing that we want to talk about.
It really doesn't matter to us. We don't care.
Yeah, either night's fine. So he's gonna put a poll in the Facebook group, because once we did go to Wednesdays to avoid Monday Night Football. Yeah. But once football season's over, we can do Wednesday nights. We can do Monday nights. It works out the same for both of us. So we'll probably put a poll in there and see what everybody prefers.
Yeah.
So
I'm, like I said, good with either way. So if you're watching this and you're still with us this late in the game, I haven't posted a poll, but you can also post in the comments.
What are you doing?
If you prefer us to be Wednesday or Monday too, I'll take that into account.
Hey,
so,
get back.
Appreciate you guys.
What are you doing?
And hope that he's a Broncos fan so runs away. Yeah.
What?
hope everybody has a good couple weeks, and we shall see you December 20th. Same place, same time.
What are you doing? What?
So,
Roof, roof,
unless
roof?
you got something to add.
Nope, I'm good.
Cool.
Get this dingo out of here.
I got a tinkle.
Yeah.
All right, everybody.
Yep. We will see y'all Saturday.
Bye.